What's happening, Hardscapers? Today we're cleaning a patio. Let's get into this. Client reached out to me, said, Mike, we've got this patio that has a lot of staining all around it, and there's some areas that actually need to be picked up and relayed. And you can see that fire pit, we actually fixed that, and we already published that video, so that will be linked in the description below if you want to see how we fixed that. But you can definitely see a lot of these areas where there is a lot of staining, and even the edge restraint along the side is popping up, and a lot of the areas, especially around the pool, have settled or started to heave. So all of this we tallied up, we put it into a quote, sent it off, client approved. So we are going to do a deep cleaning of this patio with some lifting and relaying going along. Let's get into this. This is post wash, and what we did was we came in with a detergent-based cleaner. This is a new one I've never used before. It was recommended to use instead of an acid-based, which will etch the stone. I do like it that it is a detergent-based. It is green in color, which is interesting. I'll open this up. And all I did was just pour it into a watering can, diluted it, wet the surface, wet the edges. Anything that you don't want stained with it, you just water it. And then you pour it on the surface, the wet surface, let it sit for a bit, and then blow it away. There's points in time of using it where I think I put on way too much, especially in certain areas. You'll see me panic, especially in times where my pressure washer was giving me troubles, and you don't want it to dry on the surface. So I just put too much on in some areas and had to quickly revisit them. So that was an interesting experience. I do think it does clean things up a little bit better. This area I didn't use it, just to compare it to about this area. I do think it brightens things up a little bit better. Ultimately, that jug was $350. I probably used about $150 worth. I don't think it's quite worth that with what it did. I don't think it did that much more better of a job of dislodging that dirt. Like I said, in that area over here, I didn't use it at all. And it still looks fine. I just used my pressure washer. My surface cleaner gave me some issues. So all I did here was I started in this area. I used my surface cleaner. By the time I got to this area, my surface cleaner wasn't working anymore. It got clogged. So I continued with my just standard pressure washer nozzle, 40 degree, and continued through. So started with getting out the dirt and the dirt that had just been lodged in here over many years. And then I went back and I blew out the joints. So we're going to be resanding this. Now these tight joints do get tricky, so I will end up coming with a screwdriver to get a few more of those joints out. But ideally, this is what we're looking like. Now with a patio that has low spots, all that dirty water is going to sit in those low spots, and it's going to refill those joints with dirt. So that's one thing that you want to, especially if you're taking on this work, that if there are low spots, like I see over here, that area, if the client doesn't want it fixed, it's just going to get filled up with dirt until you pressure wash it enough to blow that dirt out and away. So something to consider. And we are lifting and relaying some very low spots here along the edge, along the pool house there. One thing that I do with this is I actually do a walkthrough beforehand when I'm sending the quote, and I address all the areas that we're going to be lifting and relays. So I say, okay, this area along the rocks, this area along the pool, a couple areas over there, and actually film it and send it with the quote. That way the client knows exactly what they're paying for, exactly what they're getting. There's no gray areas between the two of us, especially when it's just a partial lift and relay. There are more problem areas where the track to the auto cover is higher than the concrete collar, which means this area is going to slope towards the pool. Just make it very clear to the client that that's going to be the case. So all these things, I just make sure that I have it documented and that we're going to install it as is, because we're not going to change the complete project in the makeup of it. We're just going to fix the problem areas, resand, and that's what we're going to be left with. It's poly day today, so we've got this lift and relay that we did. We've got 8 bags of poly. Hopefully that does this in these tight joints you can see here. We pressure wash them as good as possible. It's really these corners where you'll get a lot of new sand in. Everywhere else we try to scrape out and get as best as possible, but we will sweep out the sand, roller compact it, sweep again, roller compact again and again, especially in these tight joints. These tight joints just take a lot more time to actually sweep around and compact using our vibratory roller compactor. So what you'll see here is I'm just going around sweeping in that initial layer of sand to get it into the joints. And then once I've done that, I'm just gonna go around with our vibratory roller compactor several times. What we're doing is we're compacting, consolidating that sand down to the bottom of the joint as far as it can possibly go, and then we re-sweep, recompact, re-sweep, recompact until we get to a level that is 1/8 of an inch below the top of the pavers. So these tighter joints are going to take a lot longer to actually complete the polymeric sand installation process, and that compaction, that consolidation, though important on any paver or any pavement, definitely even more important with these tight joints. Otherwise you'll get those air gaps and that sand will definitely fail in the future. But you can see our before and after here. There is quite a major difference between the vibrancy that you see. That being said, 2 different cameras filming this at 2 different times of day, but you can definitely see that staining is completely gone. We got rid of that, especially with our detergent wash and our surface cleaning and pressure washing, especially getting that old sand out of those joints, fixing the problem areas that needed to be lifted and relayed. But everything from the snap edge that was failing around the outside to those problem areas that needed to be lifted and relayed, and new polymeric sand installed. You can see that we've completed this project. And if you want to see the fire pit, how we went ahead and fixed that from removing it all and re-leveling it and reinstalling it, that video will pop up shortly here. Hey, I hope this video's helped you in some way. If it has, please give this video a like, comment below any questions that you may have, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.